Right, I'm going to allow a few more moments for some folks to filter in. I'll explain a few pertinent details. I'll also throw all of those into the chat as well. Okay, we are at the top of the hour. Welcome to the Explore session for the Bay Area Case Studies. We have 6 amazing institutions here, experts, and this part is really important. Our panelists cannot see or hear you. So if you have any questions for them throughout this 45-minute session, please use the Q&A that's located at the bottom or the top of your screen. That Q&A can be answered from our panelists either live, or they can type an answer to you at any time throughout the session. This is just one of many college presentations offered, and you can sign up for the next slot in the same place that you signed up for this one. And a recording of this is available on our website at strivescan.com. I'll throw that in the chat as well. Again, please utilize that Q&A. Is the best way for you to get an immediate response during this 45-minute session. All right, so here we are. Not that one. We are 10. And I thought I clicked 10. Okay, we have Rice University, DePaul, Haverford, I hope I'm saying that right, Hofstra, Pepperdine, and Bowdoin College. And with that and the correct pronunciations, we have our experts. And first up is Rice University.
All right, hi everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see the presentation. So you should be able to see that now. All right. Okay, I'm losing my Zoom screen. All right, so hi everyone, my name is Sneha Koherkar. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Rice, and I'm also a proud alum. So I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about what makes Rice special. So first of all, in terms of academics, Rice is made up of 6 undergraduate schools of study. We have the schools of architecture, engineering, humanities, music, natural sciences, and social sciences. And our Jones School of Business is offering a new undergraduate business major starting this fall. So we're very excited about that. Students have the opportunity to pick from over 50 majors, and we really encourage interdisciplinary learning at Rice. Students can pursue multiple interests during their time, and we have flexible distribution requirements that really encourage that kind of academic exploration. So that allows students to figure out what they want to study, but also once they've figured that out, really dive deeply as early as their first year into that high-level coursework. Our small classes and focus on undergraduate teaching really ensures that our students have unparalleled access to their faculty members. So we have a student to faculty ratio of just 6:1, which means that our students are not only able to engage with faculty through lecture style classes, but to really ask questions, to with them after class. Our faculty are happy to be your mentors, guide you through your entire 4 years. They're really encouraging. And as you can see on the slide, they're incredibly accomplished. They're excited to guide you through college and beyond. Now, one of the ways students really get involved at Rice is through research. We have more than 45 research centers and institutes on our campus, and we're a research institution. So hands-on learning is available to a student in any academic area of study we offer. Students can start joining these types of opportunities as early as their first year. So actually about 68% of our students end up doing some kind of research during their time. And again, that really goes to that student to faculty ratio and that accessibility to our faculty members. Now, one thing Rice is really recognized for is for being best in quality of life. Our residential colleges are at the core of the student life experience. We have 11 residential colleges, and so students are randomly placed into one of them, and that serves as your community and where you're going to live during your 4 years at Rice. This creates diverse communities. Each college is a microcosm of Rice. We've been consistently ranked as #1 for lots of race and class interaction by the Princeton Review. And so not only are we bringing diverse perspectives and life experiences through our students to campus, but these students are able to really mingle and learn from each other in the residential colleges. The colleges are largely run by students. Each has its own budget and student government. And this is your source of social events, anything from special traditions, intramural sports, fun activities, and it kind of serves as your home base at Rice. Something we're really proud of at Rice is the culture of care. Students are really looking out for each other, and there are networks of support that are woven into every aspect of the Rice experience, starting with the residential colleges. But student life does expand beyond that. We have more than 280 student clubs covering all kinds of interests. We have study abroad options in over 60 different countries. Rice is also a Division I athletic school. We compete in Conference USA, and our women's soccer team were actually just named conference championships recently. So we're very proud of our student athletes. We can't talk about Rice without talking a little bit about the city that we call home. I'm originally from Irvine, California, but I moved to Houston to attend Rice, and I've just fallen in love with the city. Rice is located just a couple of miles from downtown Houston, so we really are in the middle of the fourth largest city and what is known to be the most diverse city in the country as well. So you get to be in a really global environment within the city itself, but Rice is kind of a nice, tight-knit oasis within this large city. There's a lot going on in Houston. We're home to the second largest theater district in the US, NASA's Johnson Space Center, and the Texas Medical Center, which is the world's largest medical center, is actually located across the street from our campus. So there are all kinds of opportunities for internships, jobs, experiential learning, and these kind of professional opportunities, as well as having fun, exploring theater, performing arts, athletics, and all kinds of museums to kind of enrich your time as an undergraduate student. I do want to mention briefly a little bit about affordability. So we want to make sure Rice is an affordable option for every student that's admitted. So we guarantee to meet 100% of demonstrated need. And you can see a little bit about the Rice investment year here and how we make this affordable for low income and middle income families. Our students are really successful when they leave Rice because of the academic foundation they're getting, the network they're building with students, staff, and faculty members, as well as all of the research and experiential and professional opportunities they have access to within Rice, the Rice community and within Houston. Now, my favorite thing about Rice is really our students. They're passionate and really high achieving, but also really community minded. So these students are very supportive. They're always ready to help, lend a helping hand, and they really combine this collaborative spirit with their academic and professional goals to pursue really exciting things in their future. So thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Sneha, and I'll drop my contact information. I'm also happy to answer questions in the chat feature.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we have DePaul University.
Hi, everybody. It is Natalie Legg here, Associate Director of Admission at DePaul University. First and foremost, we are located in Greencastle, Indiana. So we're in the heart of the Midwest, just 45 minutes west of Indianapolis. With that, only about 33% of our students actually come from the state of Indiana. So we are drawing heavily from other Midwestern cities. I would consider us definitely Midwestern University. That doesn't mean we don't have representation across the West Coast, East Coast, down South. I did do a count last summer, and I do recruit out on the West Coast. About 33 students came from the states of Oregon, Washington, and California. So we are slowly and surely working our way up to represent students here in Greencastle who are from the West Coast. But overall, as you can see, we've got a quite amount of students who are involved in varsity athletics, above that 25% average. We're a Division III institution, and we compete in the North Coast Athletic Conference, so a lot of Ohio schools. But I know I mentioned earlier being a Midwestern university. That means we do draw heavily from the Chicagoland region, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Louisville, Kentucky, Detroit, Michigan, but we do see pretty big numbers from Texas, actually, as well as the New England area. But in terms of academics, we have two different schools at our institution, a College of Liberal Arts and a School of Music. You see that yellow line there, though? There's actually a lot of fluidity between the schools. So there really is no divider. You'll see some econ majors who are taking orchestra. They'll be involved with your vocal groups, taking private lessons, or maybe you have a musician who's in chem lab with you or a biology lab. So in that regard, we do have students who have a lot of variety of interests. In the College of Liberal Arts, we do have a Bachelor of Arts, a BAdS degree, also known here at DePaul, but every student has till second semester of their sophomore year to officially declare. So in that first year and a half, a lot of different exploration. You can obviously declare in that first semester of freshman year if you're ready and you know what you want. But I will say in that first year and a half, you're going to find that you have a lot of other academic interests that you didn't realize that you had. So in that regard, a lot of liberal arts students, at least at DePaul, will double major, or at the very least have a major and a minor. On the School of Music side, we have 4 different degrees to choose from, but our most popular one being our Bachelor of Music Performance as well. But my favorite piece about campus is actually sending students off campus. We really emphasize taking what you're learning in the classroom and applying that to the real world. So what does that entail? We actually require 2 experiential learning opportunities to be completed throughout your 4 years at DePaul. So that could be taking an on-campus internship, maybe taking a class during winter term, which is the month of January, and those classes are very unique outside of what you would see being taught during the semesters. Or maybe you want to go on a quick faculty-led trip to the Galapagos, to Thailand, to Europe, to South Africa or Ghana, maybe even New Zealand. Winter term and May term opportunities are just 1 to 3 weeks, very quick, short trips where you can just dip your toes into maybe a completely different culture or a completely different career path that you just wanted to try out. But 65% of our students will study abroad, actually. 90% will go off campus in some way, shape, or form. Go study abroad if you can. It is the most incredible experience. I got to go to Copenhagen, Denmark for a semester. And even though I was swimming at the D3 level, I definitely gained 10 pounds worth of Danishes while I was there. No regrets. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But you're not going to be in the classroom at DePaul as much as you were in high school. And I'm sure you kind of all already know that. So as you can see here, we have a variety of opportunities to get involved, not just varsity athletics, but also intramurals, clubs across campus. Clubs and organizations will introduce to our students twice a year during our activities fair, the very first week that classes begin. We actually just had the spring fair a few weeks ago out on the quad because it was actually super nice out. Spring has sprung here in Indiana. But one great piece, not only do we send you out into the world, we also bring the world to you, not just through our musical performances, but different speakers such as Malala, David Cameron, who was Prime Minister before the Brexit occurred. In terms of wellness, we have all different types of wellness, spiritual, mental, physical, that we also are very aware of for our students in terms of other additional support systems. But you go to college because you're trying to figure out your career path. So what does that mean? Maybe doing an internship. I will say these employer snapshots that you see here are also where a lot of our students will go do paid internships with for a full semester or just that winter term or May term trip time, or even over the summer. About a quarter of our students head off to graduate school after the pod to achieve their master's, their PhD. So you do see some listed here as well. A lot of options out there though, and a lot of support systems in place to help you find the best fit for you and lay down those stepping stones to where you want to go next. And speaking of stepping stones and students who've gone off to do great things, these are just a few of our more recent alumni who've taken the world by storm in a few different areas, some that you might be able to relate to, others you might not even have an idea of what exactly that they're doing, and that's completely fine. College is definitely a chance to explore and figure out what you want. But a little bit about the application process. It's free to apply to DePaul, opens up August 1st. And we're on the Common App. We have our own application as well. No extra supplemental essays that we require. We are test optional, and it won't affect your admissibility, nor will it affect your merit scholarship opportunities. We literally look at every single piece of your application as well. That's what holistic review means. In terms of scholarship and aid, I will say that our students have been awarded this year between $24,000 and $40,000 in merit scholarship. And if you want to be considered for financial aid, all we require is the FAFSA, as well as other additional tax documents, just depending on every family situation. But thank you so much for having me tonight. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll definitely be checking out the chat and sharing my contact information. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Haverford College.
Great, thank you so much. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Kathleen Abels. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admission at Haverford. I'm also a very proud Haverford alum. I graduated in 2009, so way back in the dark ages. And since I'm working from home, I always like to share this fun fact. I have 2 rescue dogs, Granola and Yogurt, and they might join in and say hi at any point. A quick note or some quick facts about Haverford. We're a liberal arts and sciences college with a student body of just about 1,400 students. While we're small in size, we have students who have chosen to call Haverford home from all over the United States and all over the globe. And certainly some of these sort of of identifiers are just one piece of students' identities and the different perspectives they're bringing to live and learn with people who share lots of similar interests and who also have really different lived experiences to them. Haverford is a really collaborative place. We'll talk about collaboration in many different aspects. Our campus is located just outside of the city of Philadelphia, about 3 miles from the Philadelphia city line. But when you're walking around campus, you might feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. It's really gorgeous. We were one of the first planned arboretums in the United States. My favorite Haverford stat you might have seen on the previous slide, there's a 6-to-1 tree to student ratio. But there are also 2 train lines that really cradle either side of campus, 4 train stops. You're never more than a 10-15 minute walk to the train, and then a 15-20 minute train ride into Center City, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the 6th largest city in the United States, the first World Heritage City in the US. It also has a great international airport, which makes it really easy for students from the Bay Area to fly directly into Philadelphia and then take a quick train to our campus. And Philadelphia is in many ways an extension of our classroom, an extension of our community as well. Haverford is part of a larger consortium. Perhaps you've heard that term before, but if not, really happy to define that for you. We have a wonderful relationship with 3 other colleges and universities in the Philadelphia area. It's called the Quaker Consortium because all 4 colleges were founded by Quakers, very creatively named, right? But what this means is our students have all of the benefits of going to a small liberal arts college. Average class size is 14. There's a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We're one of a handful of institutions to guarantee undergraduate research. But there are over 2,000 courses in the Tri-College Consortium, so Haverford, Bryn Mawr, and Swarthmore. And if you add in the University of Pennsylvania, you're looking at nearly 5,000 courses for students to choose. And you take 32, so good luck, right? It can be overwhelming, but also really exciting to feel like you have the benefits of a much larger system. Just to give you a sense of how close we are to our partners, none of these colleges are more than 10 miles away, and there's free transportation between Haverford and Bryn Mawr, Haverford and Swarthmore, and if you're on financial aid, Haverford will pay for your train ticket to the University of Pennsylvania as well. These degree partnerships, I think, further highlight our connections, not only to the University of Pennsylvania, but some other amazing institutions across the US and across the globe, and allow students to graduate from Haverford in 4 years with a Bachelor of Arts or Science, and in 1 additional year with a master's as well. I've talked a lot about this idea, or I've mentioned liberal arts very frequently. That's a shortening for liberal arts and sciences. And so I always like to highlight our top 10 most popular majors. You'll see 5 of these 10 are in the natural sciences. So yes, absolutely, you can get an amazing education in the social sciences and in the humanities at a liberal arts and sciences college, but I'm here to tell you, you can also get a truly amazing education in the natural sciences, and we certainly think that's the case at Haverford. We talk a lot about the value of student voice, and one of the clearest articulations of this is in Haverford's senior thesis. We're one of a handful of places where we require every student to have a senior thesis experience. And it really is an opportunity for you to take a step back and say, what is a question that has not yet been answered in my field? And you work one-on-one with a faculty member going about answering that question. Many students wind up publishing their senior thesis, not only in undergraduate journals and magazines, but in graduate level journals and magazines, because that's the kind of work that's expected of you. And that's the kind of work that each and every one of our students is capable of. I promise we don't just throw research at you senior year and say good luck, right? That would be terrible. Instead, it's a part of your entire academic trajectory. And these 4 centers and spaces are both physical spaces on campus, but also grant-making bodies for our students to apply for up to $10,000 of summer research or internship funding. They fund students to present their papers at conferences across the globe, and are a great way of connecting what our students are learning in our classes to communities across the globe as well. Like my colleagues have mentioned, right, college is not just about opportunities to learn in the classroom, but really opportunities to connect outside the classroom. There are about 145 clubs and organizations on campus. There were 10,000 student events last year. And our Students Council manages our entire budget for these clubs and organizations. So it's students who have entire oversight over $500,000 for these clubs and organizations as well. Lots of great traditions on campus, and the one that I always like to highlight is Haverford's commitment to shared governance. We have one of the oldest and one of the only entirely student-run honor codes in the United States, both social and academic in nature. And what it really does is it allows our students to say, what do we want to hold ourselves to? What are the standards we seek to hold ourselves to? What do we want other people to hold ourselves to? And what it means is our students are thinking, how do the decisions I make not only impact me, but the people and communities around me? And with that, I am grateful for your questions and look forward to hearing whatever's on your mind in the chat. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Definitely put any extra pertinent information into that chat. Next up, we have Hofstra University.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here really quick. So thank you so much for joining. My name is Christy Niemeyer. I am one of our Assistant Deans of Admission at Hofstra. I work primarily with our students from Northern California, as well as Pennsylvania and Western New York. So I would be your direct admission counselor for Hofstra. So any questions that you have, I'm looking forward to answering those and telling you a little bit more about our campus. So in case you're not too familiar, we are located within New York State. More specifically, we are on Long Island. So Long Island itself is a giant suburb. So as you could see, we have Roosevelt Field Mall, one of the largest malls within the state. Beaches, parks, the Nassau Coliseum, which is currently home to the New York Islanders hockey team. So everything of those nature are within 10 to 15 minutes of campus. So everything is super close and convenient. Anything that you might be interested in doing nearby campus. Our students love to venture out throughout Long Island and really take part in all the activities that are out in the area. But we are also very close to New York City. So we are about a 40-minute train ride away from New York City. So we like to say that we have the best of both worlds here at Hofstra. You get that typical campus life experience with our 240-acre campus, but you also have the close proximity to the big city where you can go do internships and also go sightseeing, explore. We do offer our trips to the city, which are called Explore Next Door, and they are free for all of our students to sign up. They'll go to Broadway shows. We can't wait for Broadway to reopen, any sporting events, food tours, things like that. So all of our students love to participate in those and really get to experience, you know, again, that typical college campus experience, but also get the big city aspect too. So Hofstra is considered a mid-sized school. We are roughly about 6,120 undergraduate students. We also do have a graduate population, a medical school, and a law school on our campus. So those students as well are in addition to our undergraduate population. But we really pride ourselves on having a nice, not too big, but not too small environment. So we have our average class size of 21 with a student to faculty ratio of 13:1. So you have that personal interaction in the classroom. You have a lot of hands-on learning, a lot of discussion-based learning, especially as you go through your career when you become an upperclassman and more involved in your majors. Those classes will definitely get smaller as you go. We do offer about 165 undergraduate program options. One of the best things with Hofstra is if you are accepted to our school, you are accepted into all of our regular programs. So you can pick and choose the program that works best for you. If you would like to double major, if you want to add a minor as well. I've had students come up with all different combinations of interests. So our university will help make that possible for you and go into the career that works best for you and the one that you dreamed of. We do also have students represented from 48 of the US states and 78 different countries. So students from all over the US and all over the world that are in the same boat as you coming to Hofstra for the first time and really getting to experience that college life together. So as you can see, all of our undergraduate options here, some of our major schools include our School of Health Professions and Human Services, our School of Communications, our School of Business, our School of Education, and of course, plenty more. So you can see here, we are also a liberal arts school. So all of our students will have a general liberal arts education as well when they start out at Hofstra. But we do, of course, offer some dual degree options if you are looking to pursue a bachelor's and a master's combined in about 5 years. It's a really great time saver and a great money saver. So we have a lot of options there. And we do offer some special direct admission programs, which include our nursing program, a BSMD program, our dual degree physician assistant program, and also our law accelerated program. So those are definitely some interesting ones to check out. So a big part of being a Hofstra student is also our internship opportunities. So regardless of what major you are pursuing, you'll work with our Career Center on campus to get those internships that you want, whether that is within New York City as well as Long Island. So you can see we have a lot of connections, and that list goes on and on. So whatever connections that you would like to make and any organizations that you would like to work with, we will help make that possible for you. As you can see, about 71% of our students complete at least one internship by the time they graduate. Some of our students I have seen complete at least 3 or 4 by the time they graduate. So it's whatever you're willing to make work in your schedule within your 4 years here. And as you could see, our Career Center, and if you're wondering if our students are getting jobs after graduation, the answer is absolutely yes. So about 93% of our students are employed or attending a graduate school or postgraduate plan following their undergraduate experience. That building in the back here is our Career Center. It's our brand new building on campus, and it has just opened this semester. So it's super exciting. So if you do come to campus, definitely take a look at that. And you can see about more than half of our students are actually getting job offers before they even walk across our stage and get their diploma, which is really exciting. So a big part as well of our student leaders on campus is something that we look for in our students that do apply to Hofstra is getting involved. So we have over 220 clubs and organizations that you can join. Anything that you could think of, we probably have it on our campus between club and intramural sports, fraternities and sororities, academic organizations, community service groups. Community service, going off of that, is also a big part with our student leaders. So 100,000 hours are spent each year giving back to the community. You can see one of our largest events right in the middle there with that picture is called Shake a Rake. Our students go out into the local area surrounding campus and rake leaves for those. And that's actually our largest annual community service event that we do every year. We do also have 21 NCAA Division I sports teams, both men and women. So any sport that you might be interested either in participating in or cheering on is a big part of being our Hofstra Pride. We also guarantee 4 years of on-campus housing. So any place on campus you're looking to live, we will guarantee your spot on campus. And of course, just keep these important deadlines in mind for application timeline, early action 1 and 2, as well as regular decision. And keep in mind as well that Hofstra is also a test optional school, but we do have some recommended SAT and ACT ranges for you there. And of course, some things that I would recommend to do as far as visiting our campus, we are open for in-person tours. So highly recommend signing up for one of those if you are able to make the trip. And as well, all of our Hofstra social media at HofstraU, you will find us all on there. But I will drop my contact information in the chat. If you do have any questions, feel free to post them there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Pepperdine University.
Right, thank you. Hello, Bay Area. It's good to be with you. My name is Peter Walton. I serve as Assistant Director of Admission here at Pepperdine University. You've got a great view of campus right here, so let's jump in. Pepperdine, we are located in Malibu, California, just south of many of you. We are a small private Christian liberal arts university tucked between the Pacific Ocean and the Santa Monica Mountains, about 20 minutes north of Santa Monica. And about 45 minutes from downtown LA, depending on traffic. Could be 45 minutes, it could be 45 years. There's no way to tell. Just kidding. Let me jump in. I want to begin by sharing a little bit about our mission statement. We say that Pepperdine is a Christian university committed to the highest standards of academic excellence and Christian values, where students, that's you guys, are strengthened for lives of purpose, service, and leadership. And everything that we're going to talk about today, you guys, from our top 50 ranking for US News, to our great internship and academic opportunities, to our opportunities for spiritual conversations and growth wherever you're coming from, to our D1 sports and our study abroad and all the clubs, everything comes back to this mission statement. And I think it's cool as you guys are looking around at where you are going to spend the next conceivably 4 years to find a place with a really strong mission statement that's interested in investing in you in the areas of purpose, service, leadership, academic excellence, and Christian values. Let's jump into academic excellence. We offer 44 majors and 41 minors at Pepperdine. We are a liberal arts school. We'll talk about our GEs in a minute. I want to talk about our 5 most popular majors. You can see those at the bottom. Business administration is our #1 major, something we are really well known for. You may also be interested, if you're interested in business, and our international business major, our accounting major, our marketing major. or even our 5-year MBA, a great way to kind of maximize on their time at Pepperdine. We have psychology is our second most real popular major at Pepperdine. Biology, where you can join professors in their research and get published beginning as early as your freshman year. We have economics and sports medicine. Some schools call it kinesiology. Pretty similar things there to round out the top 5. But we have a total of 44 majors across 8 different academic divisions and 41 minors, including some new ones I'm excited about regarding sustainability, regarding nonprofit management and entrepreneurship, all really good stuff. Inside the classroom, you've got a view right here. Average class size is 19 and we have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. What does that actually mean? It means that, as you can see in this picture, the professor right there in the middle, she is very accessible to her students. She knows them by face, she knows them by name on day 1, maybe day 2, give her a break. But you've got professors, 35% of whom live on campus, not just for the beautiful ocean views, but really to be close, accessible, and connected with our students. Personal touch is high at Pepperdine as a smaller university and as a Christian university as well. And we certainly reap the benefits. When I was a student, I had a professor put his cell phone number on the course syllabus. He said, I've got my office hours. You can come and talk to me then. But if you need anything day or night, give me a call on that cell phone. And I did. And he's still a mentor for me to this day. So something to look forward to at Pepperdine University. I said that we're a Christian university. What does that mean? Do you need to be a Christian to come to Pepperdine? No. Is our faith a big part of the conversation and a way that we get to invest in our students to come together around conversations of faith? Yes. About 70% of our students self-identify with some branch of Christianity, whether that's Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox. And at 30% self-identify with a different faith tradition, or perhaps as atheist or agnostic. What all of these students have in common, you guys, is that we are coming together around the table, and we want all those voices asking the deeper questions about life, God, justice, and how those come together. We engage in conversations of faith in 2 ways in particular. One, in religion classes, learning about the history and context of the Bible, and then a way that our faith interacts with culture, really important. Another second way is in our convocation series. Some schools call it chapels, kind of like that. You're asked to attend 14 a semester. It could be everything from a really big speaker every Wednesday morning to a small group with your dorm, your fraternity, your sorority, to our surf chapel that you see right here, here in Malibu, where engaging in conversations of faith with the professor. And then you see that surfboard just behind the student there. You get to go surfing with a professor after. I don't know many other schools where you get to do that. It's a great way that we get to engage in conversations of faith, invest in one another in our beautiful location. Speaking of which, you've got a great view of it here. A few important stats. Like I said, we have an undergraduate population of about 3,400 students. We've served 75,000 collective hours. Service is a big part of our community, certainly of our faith heritage, and also of our mission for purpose, service, and leadership. In-state, you'll be in good company. About 54% of our students coming from California, but 46% coming from outside, with a really wide variety, almost, depending on the year, almost all 50 states are represented at Pepperdine, as well as 13% of our students, as you can see in the stats to the right, are coming internationally. In my dorm, I met students just in my dorm from all over, and a significant amount of international students. The exposure, you guys, as our stats here indicate, being about 49% white and 51% students of color, is important to be able to understand each other's diverse experiences, perspectives, and opinions and lived experiences. And so you certainly get that here at Pepperdine. So many things going on campus, you guys. Put your questions in the Q&A, and I think I might see a couple jumping in right now regarding our sports, our ministries, our different clubs. There's so much going on, almost too much to talk about. International programs is really important. About 80% of our students study abroad. We actually have Pepperdine universities in 6 major cities around the globe. Too many stories to tell you guys, but so many opportunities for global citizenship. We've got a few numbers here as I round out my time. Our national rankings, as well as some return on investment pieces. 94% of our students getting an internship or real world experience, 76% 4-year grad rate, and a very strong placement rate for jobs. Here are a couple of companies you've never heard of that our students are working at. And lastly, we got contact information here. So thank you guys for having me. Go Waves. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Bowdoin College.
right. Hi, everybody. My name is Catherine Stegeman. I'm an Associate Dean of Admission at Bowdoin. I know you've heard a lot of facts and figures today. I'm going to try to keep it pretty top level. If there's anything that I'm not addressing, please go ahead and put it in the Q&A or chat, and I'll try to get back to you. This is a picture of Bowdoin. We are located on the coast of Maine. We are a small liberal arts college of almost 2,000 students, and it's really important to know, about Maine, right? Like where we are is who we are. So the first thing I'm going to talk about really is Maine. Here you see kind of some of the adjectives that describe both Bowdoin and Maine. And one of the ones that I think is actually missing from here is that we're a neighborly place. People look out for each other here. It's not us against each other. It's not a competitive place. It really is us against whatever challenge we're facing. That's important because students aren't just coming to Bowdoin, they're coming to Brunswick, and they're coming to Maine, and they're a part of our community in a way that's really meaningful. So this is Brunswick. It's a town of about 25,000 people. We're located, like I said, right on the coast. We're about 20 minutes north of Portland, which is Maine's largest city. And Portland is a great place to visit if you haven't had the opportunity. It is easy to get here. It's one of the biggest questions I get from Bay Area students is how isolated are you? Portland has a jet port, flies direct to all these cities. And additionally, we also have Amtrak service to North Station in Boston. This makes it easy for our students to get here from all 50 states and from many countries. 65% of our students come from outside of New England and about 15% are international. The second point that I want to touch on is our academic program. So we are an academic institution. It's small, it's rigorous. We bring dedicated faculty and students together in small classes. The average class size is 13. For intellectual inquiry, it means that faculty get to know students really well, can push students really hard, so that students are really getting the most out of their academic experience. About 2/3 of our students will engage in research. I think, you've heard other schools here tonight talk about research. It's a big part of the undergraduate experience now. And students certainly do that on our campus, but they also might do it at one of our 2 research stations. So this is the Schiller Coastal Studies Center, which is located 20 minutes from our campus. It's home to our coastal studies semester. Being so close to the coast means we have incredible marine biology opportunities. We also own an island in the Bay of Fundy called Kent Island Research Station, where we send students and faculty each summer. And it ends up that 2/3 of our students will do research as part of their Bowdoin experience. I also want to talk about the common good. So this is another really big thing to take away from my presentation tonight. This is Joseph McKean, who is the first president of Bowdoin College, who said that institutions like Bowdoin are not endowed for the benefit of private citizens, but exist to serve the common good. He said it's really, going to college is not about making your life easier, it's about making society better. And this was the speech he gave at the inauguration of the college in 1802. So this has been a part of our DNA for a really long time. It's how we treat each other on campus, holding doors for people or waving to cars that stop at the sidewalk for you, in the crosswalk for you. But it's also about how we engage with our community, both in Brunswick and in Maine. That doesn't necessarily mean that all of our alums end up working in the nonprofit world, though some do, as you can see here. But what it means is that we hold our students and our alums to a higher standard. Some of our alums work at or founded or serve on the boards of some of the most influential companies in the world. And Bowdoin really emphasizes for students that you can be successful. Google is one of our biggest employers. The founder of Netflix went to Bowdoin. You can be really successful, but you also can be socially responsible in that work. And that kind of mentality really starts here on our campus. So apart from people who are willing to experience the snow, what are we looking for in the application process? I have a handy chart for you here. So we do look at grades. We want to see that students are prepared for the kind of academic rigor that they're going to face at Bowdoin. This doesn't mean you've taken every AP course available to you, or honors or accelerated or advanced level course, but it does mean that you've challenged yourself with appropriate level of rigor. We're also looking for your heart, which is kind of a short way to say, who are you kind to? How generous are you with your time outside of academics? Because we are a neighborly place, and because we do care about the communities here on campus and that we're a part of in the larger world, that is something that we look for in the application process. What we don't look for is your income. So we're one of, I think fewer than 20 colleges and universities in the country that can afford to be need blind, that can afford to be no loan, and that can meet 100% of demonstrated need. We just announced an increase of our financial aid budget. So now we're over $45 million for our financial aid budget. And that's a really important part of Bowdoin's focus on access and equity in the college process. We also don't look at test scores. So we were the first college to be test optional 51 years ago. And so again, this is part of our commitment to kind of leveling the playing field at the application stage. Again, I'm happy to answer any other questions or nitty-gritty details about the numbers. So go ahead and hit up the Q&A. I'll also post my contact information in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thank you. If I could have all the panelists come back on screen, and we will quickly go through this. And if you could share your expertise on this very important question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process and starting with Rice University?
In terms of advice, I would say, really try to think about where you can imagine yourself being for 4 years. This is, you've worked really hard in high school. There's all these things that you're doing, but it's so important to think about what your life is really going to look like. What are the types of things you want to do? What's the kind of, weather you want to be in? What's the kind of environment, city, rural, small, big, that you'd like to be in? Because this really is going to be a place you're going to call home. And so that's something that I think sometimes gets lost as we think about all of these different things. And it's really important to make sure that this is going to be a place where you can feel comfortable and safe and welcome and at home.
I think this year especially has thrown everybody for a loop, in particular students. So not being able to visit campus has been huge. That's why I urge you to reach out to your admission counselor of the school that you're really looking into, or schools, because we can connect you with coaches, with professors, with current students, that you can get a better feel. Even if you can't visit campus, we all know that sometimes virtual tours don't exactly tell you and give you that feel if that's the right fit for you. So connecting with other people across campus and having those conversations, whether on a phone call or Zoom, or even just via an email, might even give you a little bit of a light or an idea of, yes, that's my school, or no, going to take it off the list.
These are great. One thing I always like to share, there are 3 sort of decision-making points in this process, and you are in charge of 2 of them. And I think oftentimes there's so much emphasis that is sort of put on the decisions that are made in the admission office. But remember, you decide where you're going to apply, and you ultimately decide where you're going to enroll. And so I hope you are able to really take ownership of the decisions and agency that you have throughout the process too.
I would definitely say be sure to keep your mind open to all the possibilities and, of course, all of the schools that you might be interested in. So take advantage of those visit opportunities. Take advantage of schools that might be out of your comfort zone and trying something new. Because again, like all of my colleagues here have said, you're finding your place that you'll be there for all 4 years. So you want to feel right at home, but it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. College only happens once. So definitely keep that open mind out there.
This is such good advice. Mine is similar to that. To cast a wide net. That doesn't mean apply to 15 more schools at all. We know that you're probably going to be applying to a lot. But think about diversifying the different kinds of schools, applying to a couple out-of-state schools if you weren't thinking of applying out of state, because next April, you may find that you want to go out of state. You're ready to do that. Applying to some big schools with big football teams, applying to some small schools with great liberal arts programs, and really spreading a wide net to give yourself the most options that you can.
And I would say, I think there's a lot of myths out there. Like there's a lot of like experts on college admission that are going to tell you what you need to be doing or not doing. I would just say that you just need to be authentically like who you are, and not feel like you have to, do all, don't listen to those people who are like, for college, you have to do this. Be who you are, and the right school will respond to that.
I think all of that is amazing advice. The last plug is please contact these folks. They are the experts. They do want to make sure that you find the right fit for you. And they do know all the tips and tricks to do that. So make sure you take down their contact information and reach out to them. There is a quick 4-question survey when you leave here. Please make sure you fill that out. Sign up for more sessions. There are more tonight. And a recording of this is available at strivescan.com, and that is also in the chat. All right. Thank you so much to our expert panelists, and thank you to everyone out there watching this live or watching this recording. Good luck.